Shalom, call Haloyimla, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Ruach HaKodesh, saying all praises to the Heavenly Father Yahweh, who the world calls God, in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace, love, and salutation to you, Akim, pushing his word in truth and in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, risking your lives and freedom to do so, as well as you Akim and Aqua for our striving in the same doctrine and in the same spirit. To you all they say Shalom, and may the blessing of election be upon your houses. It's your fellow servant Malachi from the GMS Orlando camp, back with another lesson, and as always I pray be edifying to the hopeful elect. Alright, this is an article that the brother Azaria sent to the chat, and it made me think about the time to come, the perilous times, the times of lawlessness where Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, he is not going to have any restraint. He ain't gonna have no self-control, man. He's gonna come down. He's gonna come down with the sword, as it says in Revelation 12 and 12. The only thing keeping him from slaying Jake right now, in the times that we in, is the consequences of him losing his livelihood. All right, but if it wasn't for these police wearing body cams and having to check in, it'll be a lot of missing Jakes around here, man. All right, because he has that perpetual hatred for the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, but anyway, this is a news break article. As you can see here, shut your mouth. Florida cop yanks black woman out of car and knees her in the face over partially open window during minor traffic stop. When the police stop you, Jake, just comply, man. All right, but it says here a black woman named Tierra White recorded herself being yanked out of a car by a Jacksonville sheriff's officer in Florida after she did not fully roll her window down when pulled over for allegedly driving without her tail lights on. And this is E, man. I can do bad by myself. I'm an independent woman. Won't turn the fucking headlights on, won't turn the lights on. Okay, but it says here a woman who appears to be White's sister posted the video to her Facebook page along with photos of injuries she says White received from the officer, but has since deleted the post after they received hundreds of comments in support of White. It says Tierra White was yanked out of her car and kneed in the face during a minor traffic stop when she refused to roll the window fully down. The Supreme Court ruled that cops can order drivers out of cars during lawful traffic stops for officer safety, but this cop never expressed fear for his safety, and her windows do not appear to be tinted to the point where he was unable to see inside the car. Atlanta Black Star obtained both the video and police report of her arrest, which states Jacksonville officer B.M. Magyar pulled White over at around 3:20 a.m. on May the 9th, because she was driving without any taillights illuminated, and admitted to kneeing her in the face after she did not fully roll down her window. The report states that when he approached her car, her window was rolled up, so she knocked and she lowered it about an inch. Her White's video began with the window rolled down about an inch, and Magyar ordering her out of the car. "Why do you need me to step out of the car?" she asks as she rolls the window down a few more inches. "Because I'm requesting you to," he responds, although it was more of an order than a request. "Can you tell me why?" she asks. "Because I'm giving you a lawful order. I don't have to give you a reason," he says. "You do have to give me a reason," she replies. "If you really want to argue about this," he says. "We're not arguing, we're having a conversation," she responds. They go back and forth with her asking why she needs to step out. See, Jake, that's where you go wrong at, man. And if you were to open up the scriptures and read, you would understand how the Lord instructed us to walk here in these last days, man. Okay, that I know my rights shit, that's gonna get a lot of you Jakes screwed up, man. Like I said, the so-called white man already has a perpetual hatred, and he's looking for a reason to execute one of you Jakes, man. And I'll be damned if you Jakes don't give these damn devils the green light, man. Okay, the Lord instructed us how to behave in these last days. Okay, let's go to Matthew 10. This is Matthew 10 and 16. "Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves." Don't be causing commotion, man. You Jakes are gonna get trampled underfoot for testing the so-called white man. You testing his gangster, man. We don't have rights in the land of our captivity, man. Okay, We still being held captive in a strange land, and we under the jurisdiction of the oppressor, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. I don't know what you talking about, brother. I ain't in no captivity. This the land of the free. Shut up, Jake. We are yet this day in our captivity, like it says in the scriptures. If you don't believe me, try to go overseas without a passport. Guess what? You can't, because you're being held captive. Try to go 4 or 5 months without paying your car note and see if they don't come repo that bitch, because you are in the land of your captivity. We are, man. And it tells us that in the book of Baruch chapter 3 and verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power. Like I said, we in the jurisdiction of the enemies. You don't have no rights, Jake. You don't have no rights either, brother. We don't have any rights, man. Okay, and the sooner you Jakes understand that, the better off you'll be. All right, the police pull you over, just comply. Don't get disgruntled. What you stopped me for? You violated my rights. The more you try to prove to the so-called white man that you know your rights, the more he's gonna prove to you that you don't have no rights, man. And I'm talking about the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. We dealing with Esau, who has that perpetual hatred for Jake, that never-ending bloodlust. You got to think, okay? If the cops didn't have to wear body cams, imagine how much more crime would be committed by the hands of the police, man. So just go with the flow, Jake. Show your ID, get your ticket, and go. And if you feel like you was ticketed, wrongly, unjustly, just dispute it in the courthouse. Don't try to dispute it right then and there with the cop. Okay, let's go to Matthew 5 and 25. Okay, because the laws were not the Constitution and all that shit. It wasn't created for us, man, to be equal rights and all that shit. That's not for the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. This is not the land of the free for us. Okay, this is Matthew 5 and verse 25. Agree with thine adversary quickly. As we can see how a lot of situations turned out wrong. Okay, because Jake didn't agree and just comply, man. You got to damn prove that he know the law. Okay, you're not like these little snowflakes, these little college students. Okay, that's going to law school. They do shit on purpose to get stopped by the police, just to go back and forth with the police and put them in their place. All that shit is fun and games until it's one of you Jakes, okay, trying to damn go back and forth with the police. One thing the so-called white man hate is a so-called uppity nigga. That's how they look at Jake, that knows his rights, that knows the law. They look at Jake as an uppity nigga, man. Okay, and that's all we will ever be to these Edomites. Okay, so if you putting them in their place and you making them feel stupid, they gonna say fuck the Constitution, fuck the law, fuck your rights. I'm finna violate you, man, just because you are scum in my eyes and you just made me feel small. You got to think, a lot of these cops with these badges, they just cowards, man. Okay, a lot of these damn different police, they go into the academy because they've been bullied all their life. Now they want to have some sense of authority, so they just bitches with badges, man. So a lot of you Jakes, you got to understand that the so-called white man, he ain't out to protect you and to serve and protect you, man. A lot of these cops, they wishing that they would catch a Jake slipping, all right, in the neck of the woods or something. Okay, so that's why the Lord told us, man, we gotta be circumspect, man. We are behind enemy lines. Okay, you never seen a servant have their way in servitude. We in captivity, man. Like I said, Jake think, oh, this the land of the free. I'll be damned. All right, the scripture just told us we are yet this day in the land of our captivity. All right, let's go here. Oh, so like I didn't even finish Matthew. I'm getting too excited. This is Matthew 5 and verse 25, finishing out. Agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. All right, because these devils have the power to do that. We don't even know if that's how the situation went down. All right, where he's claiming that she was going back and forth with him and she cracked the window down an inch and this and that. A lot of these police can say this happened or they can say that happened and they can get away with it, man. All right, because they're all in cahoots together to cut Jake off from being a nation. All right, and before they did that by putting sin and a stumbling block in the way for Jake to fall. Now they cutting Jake off by slaughter, man. Jake's is still being found hanging on a tree, man, still to this very day. Okay, and like I said, they have the power in their hands. They own the court systems. They are the head of the court systems, the judicial system, who's supposed to execute justice and proper judgment. All right, but you know, their judgment is perverted because of their disgrace for Jake, man. So like I said, they're gonna be in cahoots with each other. They're gonna make sure if an officer slays a Jake, they're gonna make sure he gets away with it, man. As it says here, this is Zechariah 11:4. Thus saith the Lord my power, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that tell them, and they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. All right, so like I said, they have the power in their hands to overthrow justice, man. Justice is supposed to be served when these different police and these different security guards unjustly kills a Jake, man, and they get away with it. All right, but guess what? That's because you have not listened to the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. The Lord gave us instruction on how to deal with these devils, man. Okay, let's go to Romans 13:1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of the Most High. The powers that be are ordained of the Most High. Okay, so when you're going against them, you're going against the order of the Heavenly Father, man. Like I said, just comply, Jake. The police pull you over, you don't gotta prove shit. Okay, when the police pull you over, the only thing that you should be thinking about is making it back home alive. Okay, don't make no fucking sudden movements. Don't be talking about my wallet right here, I'm finna reach for it. Just let them give you instruction on what to do. Okay, and that's it, man. Like I said, a lot of these police, man, on the low, they really be racist, and they be looking for a reason to give Jake a hard time, man. Okay, so just comply, take your ticket, drive off. Yes sir, yes man, whatever, man. We're in the land of our captivity. We don't have no fucking rights, man. Like I said, the sooner you Jakes understand that, the better off you'll be, man. Okay, this is verse 1 again from the top. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of the Most High. The powers that be are ordained of the Most High. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinances of the Most High. And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. That's why Jake receives a hard time when he goes against the order of the Heavenly Father, when he goes against the authority. Okay, we are in the land of our captivity. I'm going to continue to say it because Jake got the game messed up. Jake think they free, man. Okay, this is verse 4. For he is the minister of the Most High to thee for good. All right, so the so-called white man is carrying out the will of the Heavenly Father, man. Okay, so when he stops at Jake and it goes left quickly and the Jake end up getting slayed, that's because that was judgment, man. If that Jake had been walking according to the will of the Heavenly Father and being obedient, the Lord would not have allowed you know, that to happen, man. Okay, so we got to understand that everything is of the Most High. That's why we have to do what's pleasing in His sight to the best of our ability at all times. All right, for he is the minister of the Most High to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid, for he beareth not the sword in vain. All right, and you just got to understand that the so-called white man wasn't blessed with the sword for no reason. Okay, he has been blessed with the sword and he has mastered the sword. Okay, that's why he looks for an excuse to use it. You know, Jake can give him a hard time. Instead of pulling his taser, he gonna pull out the gun. All right, it says, for he is the minister of the Most High, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. Wherefore ye must needs be subject, not only for wrath, but also for conscience sake. So if you've been pleasing the Lord, if you've been doing the best of your ability to walk blameless, okay, for conscience sake, you're gonna be free, man. When the police get behind you, you're gonna, okay, you know, something minor, probably was going a little bit over the speed limit, but you know what I'm saying, I know I'm gonna make it back home safe. All right, but if you've been out doing wickedness and you doing this, you got drugs, you got guns, illegal shit in the truck, you ain't gonna have a good conscience, man. You're gonna be questioning whether you're gonna make it back home safe or not, man. You know, you got fucking AK-47s in the trunk and shit. You got bricks. Okay, for conscience sake, you're not gonna be in a sound mind, man. You're not gonna be at peace. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, that's it on that. So to wrap it up, we don't have rights here in the land of our captivity, man. Okay, the only right that we have on this side is to serve Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. That's the only right that we have, man. Okay. Other than that, the laws, the Constitution, okay, all of these things, they were not made for the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American man and woman. Okay, so you just got to understand that, man. We got to walk according to the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. Okay, we got to walk in wisdom. All right, and if we do so, we'll be all right, man. Okay, we're looking forward to the time where we don't have to worry about having rights, man. Okay, we're going to be the ones setting the standard. We're going to be the ones who are telling the other nations what they can and cannot do. We're going to be giving that order, of the rights that the other nations have, man. And Lord willing, we be part of that number. But for right now, we got to continue to, seek after Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and walk in this walk, man. All right, so I'm going to end it here by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rachakwadash. See you Akim and you Akwa for the next lesson, Lord willing. Shalom, wa abba babal.